We are live, people. Look, I just had to get my fix. I know that probably many people aren't going to join on here, so we basically. Oh, you have got a green screen. Let's just camera. Let's have a look. Can we flip mirror camera? No. How do we mirror it? No. Okay, getting all used to this. Oh, top fans, welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Okay, we can do that, I think. Hey up, Flange. Thanks for joining. Look, I've been banned on TikTok, so I'm coming over to YouTube for a little bit of live action. I'm still in shock, if I'm honest. I got banned for promoting that ball for a charity event. Apparently, it's gambling now. I don't know why, but it's only a temporary ban, so I'm back on Wednesday. But yeah, I've got no idea how YouTube works on the lives. I don't think it's the same, but we'll see what happens. Different viewers, I guess. TikTok's more there. Lols, what you like? Yeah, no, I'm just a bit of a nightmare, and to be fair, I was just really minding my own business, doing a live last night. It was all going really well, and then hello, Cassandra. Welcome. The world's gone mad. Apparently, you can't promote charity on TikTok because it doesn't make them any money, even though the link for the charity event or the charity fundraising page is in my bio and you can click on it. But apparently saying donate £5 is classed as promoting gambling. I'm very confused by it all, if I'm honest. So here we are. It's Monday evening. Mrs. B's in the house. Hello. And I just thought I'd come jump on for half an hour to get my live fix. And here we are. So thanks for joining. Yeah, a bit of a weird day today, really, because yesterday I was really pissed off about stuff. But it's been a better day because I woke up this morning and I thought, okay, sorry, James and I shot the podcast, which is out now. Please go and check that out. That is now live on the YouTube, where we pick apart the Everton game and talk about Unai Emery's very bizarre. Yes, Everett, how are we doing? Very, very bizarre interview after the game. And then I had a text message at about 9:30 this morning to ask me to go on Sky Sports. And I was like, yes, let's do that. So onto Sky I went to talk about that very interview. I got a 9-minute slot, and that I haven't uploaded that to YouTube yet, but I think I will tomorrow because YouTube's weird about pushing double content when you post stuff. So obviously we've only just posted the podcast. So I'll put the full 9 minutes up there. If you want a little snippet, you can see me on TikTok. And we'll take it from there. So, yeah, TikTok's loss is YouTube's gain. Here we are. Although I have no idea how this works, so Sarah's going to be really miffed. You can see my ring light in the thing of that, and that's the wrong way around. I don't know how to mirror the camera on this. I'm sorry. And yeah, so lighting way better. Thank you, Mrs. It looks like I got a halo above my head. So yeah, started with Sky Sports this morning. That was really good. And then this afternoon, I was on the Villa Forever podcast with Chad Williams. If you haven't checked his page out, please go and check it out. I found out today that we've got an awful lot in common. Now, if you don't know who Chad is, Chad's a Villa fan and he's got his podcast and he's got Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And for those of you who've been watching me for a while, you'll know that my daughter Abby has Ulrich congenital muscular dystrophy. So we kind of put the worlds to rights. He's a little bit older. He's just about to turn 30, and whereas Abby's 18, but has been through very similar journey and had very similar things happen. So it was, thank you, Cassandra. And we just put the worlds to rights, really. Talked about all things Villa, about the Everton game and the upcoming game against Fenerbahce on Thursday. So if you've got a spare hour, go and check that out. That's live on his channel. I think he shared it. He said he hasn't shared the link with me yet, but I will share all that tomorrow as well on our socials. Go and check that out. We have a good chat. And so, yeah, it's been a good day productivity-wise. And then I've just found out this evening that for those that you do know and follow us, James and I are part of the new Sky Sports app for analysis. And that's how I got on Sky Sports this morning. Anyway, it's obviously going well because we've just been told that we've been invited to a launch party in March. So hopefully that's going to be taken care of by the wonderful Michael McIntyre and Gary Neville, but I get to meet all the fellow fanlists and hopefully in and around Sky Sports HQ. So it's going to be a fantastic networking event. So I'm buzzing about that. That's really good news. Only caught a bit of it watching it in full. Cheers, Flange. Yeah, check it out. It's definitely worth an hour of your time, I feel. So this is very similar to TikTok Live. Obviously, just it's not got all the following that we've got on TikTok, so it's a shame that they're missing out. But that, like I said, what is TikTok's loss is YouTube's gain. But what I can say when I do go back to TikTok is that YouTube Live is very similar to TikTok Live. So people, if they've got a YouTube account, can just jump on here, and that's not too difficult, right? Because a couple of people messaged me saying, I don't really know how YouTube works. But I guess all these social media platforms are pretty much the same, right? I need to work it out in terms of, because it's got things like top fans there where they can add top fans, and there's a money sign up here. So I don't know if you guys can gift me and we can get some money towards a channel. That'd be amazing. Cole's here. He's found me on the tube. Yes, Cole. And he's got a top fan. Look, he's got what are these? I don't understand this top fan thing. How do you make people top fans? We need to work it out. If I click it, oh, you get XP. So Flange is number one. Flange, you're top of the shop. I've got a leaderboard here. Carl, you're number 3, and we got Mrs. SB's number 6 with 25 XP. What does that mean? Wow, it's not very good, Benny. You're bottom of the list here. You should be my number 1 fan. But it's Flange at the moment. Flange, you're top of the shop. You're way ahead of me. I don't know how the XP works, but can anyone tell me? Has anyone ever done YouTube live? This is my... I am a YouTube live virgin, to be fair, apart from the shows that we've done on YouTube. I'm not happy with the names linked to Villa. It's quantity over quality, and that's not good. I don't know about that, because we haven't had quantity of players mentioned, have we? You know, there's only one real solid one, which is Tammy. I think it's just likes and comments. Fair play, Cole. That makes sense. We've only really been heavily linked with Tammy. The rest is all speculation. And if some of them are to be true, like Mamouche from Man City or Ferran Torres from Barcelona, these would be good signings for the Villa under Unai. We need to talk about that interview, because it was very strange. Or is it just another one of Unai's little unique, isms that he does with, interviews? Because thinking about it a little bit more, hopefully he's just pissed off, like we all were. We talked about this earlier. Imagine after losing the game like that in where we didn't really perform. I was pissed off when I came out of the ground. Imagine being just shoved in front of millions of faces on national TV and having to pick it apart, as English as your second language. So let's not read too much into it, and let's hope that it's just a case we're going to do a little bit of business in the next couple of weeks, hopefully quality over quantity, and finish off the season strong. But we've got a really tough week coming up, and I'm nervous because we're super thin on the ground. So let's see what happens. But this Fenerbahce game is going to be tough. Apparently, Tammy gave the heart sign to the fans when the game ended tonight, and he posted a pic in black and white, which everyone thinks is his last game. Yes, I did see that, Flange, on thingy. So let's see. I acted like it was his last season, packed bench, kids, etc. He did. That's very true. The fact is, manners went out the window was very telling. No good evening shows how frustrated he was. Yes, Flange. I think that tops it off with you, because he always starts his interviews with good evening, and he didn't do that yesterday. And look, he's only human. We know how much of a perfectionist he is, but I can't help but feel that letting Marlon go last week was a mistake. If we could have just kept him for one more week or a couple of weeks, just while we sorted stuff out. But obviously, we don't know if it was a Roma thing, basically saying he's got to go now. Do you know what I mean? Like today, it has to happen. But it left us short. If you look at the game yesterday, Marlon would have been perfect for that, and we just didn't have the depth to do anything to Everton. And for the first time in a long time, when we went 1-0 down, I didn't look like we were going to be doing it. Brummy Gaz, good evening, Villa boys. How you doing, Brummy Gaz? Villa podcast forever. Chad, yes, great to chat to you this afternoon too, mate. It was an absolute pleasure. I had a really enjoyable hour. I've just told everyone to go and follow you and check out the show. Like I say, don't forget to send me the link to it, because I'll share it on our socials as well. We put the worlds to right for an hour. We talked all things football. We talked all things muscular dystrophy. It was pretty cool. So, yeah, go and check that out. Oh, bloody hell. Clifton's here. Shouldn't you be in bed? Will Tammy be Europe Cup tied? I don't know. That's a good question. I got my Rise of the Villains book signed by Guillaume yesterday. Yes, Flange. Did he put the little salute thing in it at the front? I think he's done that with all of them. It's gone up in value already. So if you paid 20 quid for it, it's gone up in value. We proved yesterday that we were 1 or 2 injuries, suspensions away from a crisis. That's all. We spoke about that. Brushing my teeth, mate. Oh, just checking this out. This is very similar to TikTok Live. So we'll see what happens. There's been a talk that if we don't qualify for Champions League season because of the finance crap restrictions, Unai might move on. I hope not. But guys, look, that's going to be there. I think if that does happen, that's a possibility. We've got to be prepared for that because if you were Unai, I think a Champions League spot from the position we're in right now, right, to not get it either via League or the Europa League would be a failure. And, you know, you can put it down to the PSR stuff, but I mean, I don't see it happening. In them, Unai, we trust. So let's see what happens. Should try and do both at the same time in future, double checking. Try and do both at the same. What, TikTok and YouTube? Yeah, that's if TikTok ever let me back on, mate. After last game, are you worried about fall like Forest last season? Always, mate. Always, because the next week or two, whether we get somebody in or not, is going to be the big telling tale. Because if we don't, we might be too thin to actually put a charge, and we could fall off. James and I spoke about it on the pod today. Like the next 4 games, we could easily lose with that current starting 11. You know, we need something extra from them all. It's all about mentality now. Emery was frustrated after that game yesterday. You could clearly see. It's whether now we can, you know, get back up and go again. But losing McGinn, having no Kamara, no Onana, and no Barkley, we've just lost our entire midfield. And you're now relying on youngsters. Now, don't get me wrong, George Hemmings came on yesterday and I thought he looked pretty sharp. But throwing him into the deep end when, you know, we're potentially a title challenge. I mean, I don't think we are now after yesterday, but certainly a top 4 challenge. You know, being, you know, 9 points ahead of 5th. To say we're not top 5 contenders, that knocked me a little bit because I think we should be. I think he needs to be installing that belief in the team, which I thought he was doing because I really felt like there's a togetherness in this squad in the last few weeks. And I would rather that yesterday was just a one-off and we dust it off and we go again. But even Unai must be feeling it with McGinn walking off. And obviously we'll know more in the next, hopefully, week or so about how bad the injuries are to both Kamara and McGinn. And that will be massive news for us. That's going to make or break our season, I guess. But we definitely need 1 or 2 reinforcements in the next 2 weeks as well, just to have a bit of depth in the squad. So let's see what happens. It's going to be fun either way. Like, whatever we do, it's every week we follow, right? I think we need some of the youngsters for Thursday and try and go strong as possible at Newcastle. I don't disagree with that, Flange. I think Unai will probably just stick to what he's got. It was a bit like, you know, if I had a time machine, I'd go back to that Spurs game and I wouldn't play Kamara. When I saw the lineup, I was like, I'd have rather the youngsters in the FA Cup because for me, yes, it's nice to go and have a cup run, but now realistically, are we going to go and win the FA Cup with that current squad that we've got and no depth? You know, we sold Marlon, we've just lost McGinn, we've lost Kamara, so it's been a really tough week in terms of injuries. So I would ultimately, as much as I agree with that, I think Unai will just put out the strongest he possibly can and go for it and see what happens. That's what he seems to be doing. I still think he's annoyed that we didn't get Gallagher. Would have been to cover John. Yeah, that's a good point. We spoke about that on the pod, didn't we, James? In terms of Conor Gallagher is a perfect replacement for John McGinn. He's got that engine and that energy to galvanise the team and maybe bring them forward. And he's one for the future to take over from McGinn. Now we'll never know. I think we need to beat Fenerbahce to avoid having too much resting on Salzburg. Yeah, it's mate, I think just don't lose in front at Fenerbahce. Going away into that hostile atmosphere with a weak and depleted team, with players that are going to be up to beating us. Well, at least one of them, John Duran. I think we've got to, go and defend, which is why I think he'll probably go quite strong against Fenerbahce and try and get something from the game. Yes, I said on Chad's podcast earlier, my head says go there, defend like lions, get a 0-0. But, I'll never bet against us. I'd love to win 2-0. But we're going to have to be flying. And one thing I suggested, and we talked about it on the pod today and on Chad's pod, He's playing Pau Torres as a holding midfielder. Put Lindelof in at centre half again with Konza, and push Pau just slightly forward to work with Tielemans. And then the rest picks itself, right? Hopefully Sancho's got over his cold and will play on Thursday, because I really don't want to see Evan Gesond in a Villa shirt again, really. I know that's really harsh, but well, not say again, but until he sorts his shit out and kind of realises he's got to run around a football field rather than, we can't play to defend. Well, maybe not, but we can play to not lose. And I'm not for that. But what other choice have we got? We're going away to a hostile environment. Asensio on 9 goals, 7 assists for Fenerbahce as a 10. Flange don't. He should be a Villa player. He should have been a Villa player, but again, with PSR, we got fucked. We'll go get Mateta, says Mrs. B. That would be lovely. And he is available, and Crystal Palace have fallen apart, it seems. Mark Gay has gone to Manchester City today. So, this is what on Sky Sports today, I talked about this. The teams around us and above us can just go and splash the cash and take whatever they want. And we just have to sit in peanuts. And you can just, like I say, that interview was sheer frustration for Emery, because in trying to reinforce our squad has just been screwed over by a Spurs team that can spend the money. And we are so restricted. They said on Sky Sports today, at this point, and this is what I think we'll do in the summer, by the way, if we get Champions League, is just go and spend big and take the fine, because it'll be UEFA sanctions, not Premier League sanctions. So that's what we got to do. And hopefully we can hold on, But like I say, hopefully Emery's response is not to be read in too much, and it's just a kind of off-the-cuff remark rather than the wheels coming off and we completely fall apart. I really felt like we turned a corner this year, so hopefully that's not the case. I'm going to take these glasses off because all I can see is ring lights in my eyes, and that's not good. Ugh. There we go. Palace only want 15 million and more for Tammy. Wasn't Gasson mentioned in that though, Carl? Because I'd definitely send Gasson the other way. You'd be angling for a season ticket, wouldn't you? Absolutely. I don't think Mateta is as clinical as we need, to be honest. I just think we need something different, mate. Like you said, we said earlier, Watkins is played arguably one of the best Villa teams that we've ever seen and still struggled to score goals. Would Mateta do the same? I don't know. It's mine. I want it. Yeah, I'll just tell her. What are we talking about with season ticket? What have I missed there?
James said if we get Mateta, I'm going to be nicking out.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Ava will have a choice, mate. I said we'll just take it. Besiktas want 20 million for Tammy. Palace only want 15 million more for Mateta. Oh, there we go. Do it. We're not taking Harvey Barnes. Not Harvey Elliott. I would take Harvey Barnes. We've got to make something happen, right? But like somebody said earlier in the comments, quality over quantity, right? I just hope Emery's got it. We've got to trust him. We've got to trust him. I think he'll be all right. So we'll see what happens. Carl means Palace only want 15 million more from Mateta. It's what? Yes, I got there now. My eyes are adjusting to the screen because I took my glasses off. But yeah, so I think I'd rather do that. But Tammy is trash. Besiktas can't even manage to win against Andulu. Who were they exactly? Do you know what I mean? Jesus. No, look, I don't think Tammy's trash. And I think any youngish player, Tammy's only 28, got a couple of years at top level football left probably. I would arguably say that Unai could get a tune out of him. There's someone mentioned to me earlier Liam Delap from Chelsea, because he seems to have pissed off all the Chelsea support by giving Arsenal fans tickets to the game. Most notably Love Islanders, who then vlogged about the game and where they got the tickets from. I was interested in Liam Delap before he went to Chelsea. I thought we could have had a sneaky bid for him. Obviously, change of manager, is he going to get a look in? Good young English striker. Unai could probably get a tune out of him. Why don't we try and go and get him? But maybe money will be an issue again. That's part of the problem. We come back to that same old bullshit. We need quality, a bit of quantity, as long as the quantity can hold their own. Yes, that's also true. Tammy under Unai, though, exactly. I think any player under Unai can blossom if they buy into the philosophy and the system. Time will tell, but the next couple of weeks are going to be a tough one. We really need to kind of try and galvanise the current squad and get them motivated, and hopefully bring in 1 or 2 players to give a little bit of freshness to it. And if we can do that, I think we can finish in the top 4, you know. But obviously, Emery, is before when Emery's talked about not being in a league race, it always felt like, yeah, we get that. But yesterday's comment felt a little bit deeper and different, you know. I just hope that that's not the case. I expect we will buy 1 and loan 1 or 2 before the end of the season. Let's hope so, mate. Hope so, Cliffo. And I always spoke about replacing those who have left and those who are yet to leave. Yeah, exactly. Look, we said there's 2 weeks left of the window. We've just got to hold on probably for the next round of fixtures, really, these next 4 or 5 games. And then we'll know a little bit more. Let's not panic just yet, because after that, like, let's say we've, you know, these two European games and the 2 league games that we've got, one of which is Brentford, which I'll be at in full kit wanker mode. So make sure you tune in for that, because that's going to be an interesting vlogging day. Thanks to Alex from over on TikTok who suggested that. Like I say, if we get to 10k before May in the Liverpool game, I might even go dressed as a referee for that one. Let's see what happens. Interested to see who else leaves. Yeah. Well, who do you reckon, Cliffo? Who do you think's going to? Who's in that list of potential leaving? Villa and Newcastle fans should join together on Sunday, calling out the Premier League. John Villa 92. I couldn't agree more. You know, both of us have been stumped, right? 2 of the richest owners in world football, and we can't do fuck all with it. It's you know, I spoke about this on Sky Sports. It's not as if we're saying every club should go out and be able to just spend what they want and put clubs in financial insecurity because of the owners could leave and you're fucked. It's about allowing those clubs to spend within their means. So it's about doing it right, which Villa are trying to do, you know. And this stumbling block is, you know, how long have we got Emery for before he gets really frustrated? I hope you corrected Sky Sports earlier when you said Duran playing and they corrected you and said he was banned. Well, exactly. I didn't, because obviously they corrected me, but he's playing, you know, so they got it wrong. It just turns out even the journos with all their information got it wrong, but he looks like he's playing right. So I need to drop him an email and go, excuse me, fact checking. Or maybe, but Carl, give me an idea for a TikTok. I'm going to go through the video, find that snippet and just say they got it wrong. That's a good idea. There we go. I'll do that once we come off here. Creative juices are flowing. This is what I need the lives for, you see. The creative juices, they flow when we're talking to you guys. So, all right, we've got about 8 minutes left and I'm going to shoot off. I just wanted to test this on YouTube. I had no idea if anyone would even tune in. You know, but we've got a few, which is fine. I'm happy with that. Thank you for joining. You guys are awesome. Like I say, we're back on TikTok on Wednesday evening, where we'll do a preview for the Fenerbahce game, and then we'll be doing a live watch along on the Tube and on TikTok on Thursday for the game. 5:45 kickoff. Make sure you join us for that. We may well have a special guest, Sam from True Adventures, who's going to join and talk about the game with us. Hopefully, it'll be the calming influence we need. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So all good. Oh, and also great news. We've got on Wednesday morning, we will be shooting our preview for the Fenerbahce game. We've also got Neil from the Liverpool McGrath podcast coming on the show to talk about the Fenerbahce game. So that's going to be a brilliant show. So make sure you tune into that as well when it goes live on Wednesday afternoon. You pulled a fast one on Fenerbahce by giving them John Duran. He won't be able to do anything for Fenerbahce in the European matches. Look, the guy's a loose cannon and he's going to be gunning for blood against us. And you just know when he scores, he's going to be running right up to the Villa fans doing like the Adebayor thing. Good to see FA Cup tickets are well priced. Oh, FA Cup tickets, they went on sale today. Shit, I've been so busy. Fuck, Cole, are they still available? Fuck, how long have season ticket holders got to buy them? Fuck. No, we can. This is great content. All right, let's get on the app. Fuck, I've had such a busy day. I completely forgot about the FA Cup tickets. Fuck. Oh, this is annoying now when you go to buy tickets, right? Because do I have to come out? I think I have to come out of the app, don't I? So annoying. I hate the fucking Villa website. All right, log in. Right, boring for the last 8 minutes. I'm going to try and get. Do you originally play? I think we bring in at least first two team rotation players who desperately need our squad debt starting to show, and the gap will slowly slip. We definitely need to bring in one or two, mate, for sure. You know, it goes without saying, really. Why can't I not? Annoying. Backing out. Why can't I just go and buy tickets? Here we go. Notifications. Do I have to go to the actual website? I can't do it through the app anymore. What's going on? BFC tickets. Oh, mate, if I've missed out on tickets, I'm gonna go mad. All right, log in. Welcome, Gary. Tickets. Tickets, please. Men's team, buy now. Home tickets. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Season tickets. Abby and Gary. Proceed. Right, let's double check with the wife. Can I do that? Can you get our account details up for
Want me to finish that off for you so you can talk to your fans?
Yes, please. Right, good news is tickets are still there. Going to purchase now. FA Cup tickets. This is what we do. Even though Emery's having meltdowns and stuff, we're going to be there. It's Valentine's Day. I'm going to try and take Sarah to that. That's what I'm going to try and do.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, what a date! What a Can someone convince Mrs. B that going to Villa Park on Valentine's Day is the ultimate romantic gesture? Right? We can have a pie together. We can walk. We can skip hand in hand to our seats. Right? We're in. Only if we sign Mateta. Oh, look, that might happen before the Newcastle game. So if we sign Mateta, you'll come into that. But that's not for me. You're going to perv over another man on Valentine's Day. That's really mean. Shocking. Over another man. Depends who it was. Take her a box of chocolates. There you go. Right,
I work at a chocolate factory.
Yeah, chocolates aren't the one. Flowers are the one. What happens if I buy you some flowers and we go to Villa Park with the flowers? We could do like a vlog of the flowers, like from the shop to home, and the flowers to Villa. What's better than Villa Park on Valentine's Day? Come on.
For you, nothing.
Well, isn't Valentine's Day supposed to be for the both of us, like declaring our love? How about I cook you a lovely home cooked meal on Friday, right? Pork chops with sage and apple, and we have a romantic dinner, and then Saturday we go to the Villa for me. Ah, deal. We're going to Villa Park, people. It's my haven. It's my happy place. Somehow your bald head had 25 people watching. Mate, you're supposed to be my mate. My bald head's amazing. Although apparently you can get makeup that clears up the shine. Look at that. Papa's got a head like a ping ball.
Like a ping pong ball.
Are we all done?
Yeah.
Amazing.
You know it's Blue Monday. I can't be spending money.
Apparently it's Blue Monday, which is only slightly less depressing than Divorce Monday, which was on the 5th of January. But this is what happens on Blue Monday. People get depressed. Yeah. So if you're feeling a little bit sad and lonely, welcome to YouTube. You know, we're here. I think we put everyone off buying the tickets. Carl says he's going to serenade you with his invisible violin.
Oh,
See, that'll just be like, imagine it like a little quartet of people pretending to play the violin in the Trinity Road. While we have like and the camera would come onto us, and we could have like a kisser thing on the screen. Imagine that.
Are you going to Turkey?
No, mate, I'm not going to Turkey.
Come to Turkey, he says.
Oh. Oh, I don't know about that, mate. I don't watch enough of the Turkey League, but I think it's still quite a way off the Premier League. But I'll take your word for it. If they dropped off since long, bring us some chocolates then. Carl wants some chocolates. Yeah, you're right. We should bring you. We owe you some chocolates, Carl. We do.
Yeah,
So we'll sort that out.
I'll see you on Valentine's Day with my chocolate.
Sarah says, see you Valentine's Day with chocolates in hand. Phyllis should do the crowd thing they do in America. Yeah, 100%. I'd be on it every week, just for being shut down and shouting and all sorts. That'd be all right, wouldn't it? Bring it on. Truthfully, what happened? Bring us right. Somebody had a bald head. He's dropped off since you mentioned the bald headness, mate. They're all baldest.
Since I started watching you buy tickets.
Yeah, sorry, but I forgot about the tickets. Apologies, that was really shit. I left you to it, but we've had confirmation now, so purchased FA Cup tickets in the bag. James, are you coming to that FA Cup tie on Valentine's Day? We'll Jess allow you to. Why don't you bring Jess double date, mate? Get Pete to stay at home. You can spend some time with Sam, and then lookalikes. Yeah. Papa's got a head like a ping pong ball. Concept is not quality. Atmosphere is important. Yes, atmosphere is important. You're right. And I'm not saying Turkey hasn't got hostile atmosphere, but it's also one of the most scary places to like. There's one, having a hostile atmosphere, and two, being, coming out alive of a stadium. Do you know what I mean? Like, football's supposed to be fun, not somewhere where you go and risk your life. Turkish fans, yeah, like hostile, most hostile grounds in Europe, I'd have thought. Particularly Turkey and Fenerbahce, they're known for their hostility, shall we say? And that's not my bag, mate. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Don't want to fight the world, despite it, even though everyone else seems to want to watch it burn at the moment. We're sticking in our football bubble, and that's what's happening. Right, people, it's been 32 minutes. I said I'd do half an hour, so I'm going to shoot. I'll jump on back tomorrow and do another quick half an hour, which will then take us up to Wednesday evening. It'll be a bit later on Wednesday because it's 9:14. I can go back onto TikTok. So make sure you stay tuned for that. What's Gemma said? Oh, yeah, Gemma, it will be interesting. Obviously, there's only a select few, loads of tickets left, and advice has been sent out by the club. If you are going to Fenerbahce away, please stay safe. It sounds like it's going to be interesting because you're going to be kept in a pen like 5 hours before the game. And again, that's not the way that football should be working. And, you're not allowed to take battery packs. So think about your battery power before you go. Just stay safe, people. Like I say, everyone should be able to go to a football game to enjoy it and get back home safe with their loved ones. So, yeah, if you are going, stay safe and enjoy the game. What about our next fixtures, Newcastle away? Yes, John, it's going to be a tough one, mate. No two ways about that. We've got a crap record at St James's Park, but it would be Villa-esque to go away to St James's Park now and get a win. Emery's going to be probably fired up for it. He has to be after those comments from yesterday. I'm hoping that's all smoke and mirrors, and in Emery we trust. Did you hear me shouting yesterday? No, mate, it's pretty loud. Sorry, I didn't hear you, John. What were you shouting? Let's hope they have a win to top it off. Yes, fingers crossed, but not an easy game to go to Fenerbahce and win. Like I say, the hostility there is going to be difficult. So we'll have to see what happens. Matty Cash saying to the lads, come on. Yeah. Look, it was an opportunity missed. We know that. The boys just didn't step up to the plate, but we've got to be used to that. We've done that, against... They asked me on Sky Sports, is it a bit of a pattern? And it's difficult not to... I don't think it's a pattern per se. I think it's just a case of it's a pattern with these players because none of them have got the experience. We need to give Emery the transfer windows he so desperately wants and let him spend the money and bring the players in. Because I'm telling you, if he does that, this team and this club is going to go stratospheric. It's going to be off the charts, mate. We're going to be long-term legacy team going up and competing for Europe and league titles every season, providing that we keep Unai Emery and that we keep our owners. That is the big one, right? So, look, it's been emotional. I will be back on here tomorrow until my ban is lifted on Wednesday on TikTok, that'll be a special live because it'll be 3 days off, and hopefully everyone will be on that. And then Thursday we'll have the preview show for Fenerbahce coming out with the great Neil from the Liverpool McGrath podcast, and Thursday evening we'll have Sam from True Adventures on our watch along. And we're going to be watching that Fenerbahce game together and picking it apart. So make sure you tune in for that. That'll be live here on YouTube and on TikTok. So make sure you check that out. Anyway, it's been emotional. And thank you for joining. Thank you for your comments. And I will see you tomorrow. And as always, every week we follow the boys in claret and blue. Peace.